Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. As always, it's wonderful to see you. You know, this week we decided we weren't going to talk about market conditions. We weren't even going to talk about interest rates.
No, none of that at all. Actually, what's been happening is that we've been fielding some calls from a lot of our buyer clients. And so we thought it would be important to share with you what we're sharing with them. And here are 6 key factors to keep in mind before you submit that offer.
Yeah, it's been a busy probably month so far. September has proven to be pretty busy with buyers. So we thought we'd give you some perspective about what's it take to get ready to make that offer. And maybe, quite possibly, the number one is making sure that the neighborhoods that you're looking in meet your lifestyle. And you know, there's so many within this Northern Virginia area. We were showing properties in a golf course community not too long ago. We were also in the dead center of a small town just recently with another buyer. You see communities that are very equestrian oriented. You see other properties that perhaps are in a condominium association. So knowing these neighborhoods and knowing what offers each of those neighborhoods bring to you, undoubtedly one of the most important decisions you'll make.
Yes, for sure. You want to make sure it fits in with your lifestyle.
Yeah.
The second consideration is ownership cost consideration. So it's not just the cost of the home and the mortgage and principal and interest over the years, but it's also what are the HOA fees? Are there condo fees? What is the cost of maintaining the property? Will you be taking care of now a 1-acre piece of property versus never having to pay for that before? So these are cost factors that you really should put into your budget when you're going ahead and submitting it off. And it's not a discouragement. It's just make sure you've made all the necessary arrangements and you know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah, because there are a number of costs that are associated with the purchase process, right? One of those is kind of an anticipation, not necessarily here at the beginning when you're making the offer, but it's the updates and the repairs that may be necessary once you do own the property. You certainly need to take that in consideration right up front, because as you look at older properties that perhaps have not been updated, those things have got to register into your mind for future considerations, of course, but certainly the repairs that are necessary as you move in or, you know, quickly thereafter have to enter into your thoughts as well, because those are going to make your lifestyle certainly comfortable. And it's not going to be kind of biting at you,
Yes,
right? You know,
that's
it's not
true.
going to be that thing that you know that has to be repaired and you're just waiting for that refrigerator to not work. Or how about that dryer? You've done that full load of laundry and you were told that that dryer is kind of right on the brink of its existence. You've got that full load of laundry, but next thing you know, the dryer doesn't work.
Yes, and we hear about that a lot. A lot of time the buyer will enter that house and they already have their to-do list as to what changes they want to make to that house. So make sure you get your estimates and you already factor that in if it's something that you need before moving in, especially.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
sure. Okay. The other one is on the good side because it's financing and there's so many financing
So many options.
now, especially with the type of land. Ray introduced me to someone using a USDA financing. So it was only the second time I saw that, but it's a great program. Check with your lender. You might be eligible for grants. And even better, if you're looking at new construction, they're offering amazing financing little bonuses to anyone coming into new construction communities. So definitely look into all those possibilities when you're going shopping.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, just the down payment, the array of down payments, whether it's that 100% financing, maybe you want to put a lot down so that you miss the MIP, which is the mortgage insurance premium, or the PMI. You know, those type of costs will add up in your monthly cost. So please, you know, think about those down payments and what you feel comfortable with. Probably number 5 kind of dovetails with the updates that you want to make as you approach the purchase of this property. And the one thing you need to consider is the resale value of the house. And certainly everybody believes that they're going to be in the property for absolutely ever. This is our forever home, Denise and Ray. We'll be there forever. Well, it may not. And we just saw a situation just recently in which a fairly expensive property was sold, and less than 30 days later, it's back on the market for sale with the proclamation the buyer's plans had changed. Well, plans do change, situations change. So we've got to always kind of brief our buyers, and something you need to consider as a buyer is what's the property worth when you make all these improvements and these repairs to the property?
Yes, for sure. And it's important to think long term. We really can't forecast what the future holds. So resale value is important, as well as looking at, like Ray said, what you're going to do to that property before you put it back on the market, for sure.
Because it's really a sad situation when we come back in maybe a few years, maybe even 5 years later, and we say, wow, you've made some beautiful improvements to this, but unfortunately the market has not kept pace with what you've done.
Yes, and we've seen the converse of that as well, where maybe they did not maintain the property, thinking, oh, I'll do it next year. I'll do it next year. Something happens, and all of a sudden that list of to-do is so long. So we always encourage homeowners to keep your home in the best possible condition.
Deferred maintenance can be a killer.
Always, and you will get that money back, no problem, for sure. The last one is strategy and negotiations, and that's where we come in. This is a time right now, it really is more of a balanced market where buyers are seeing some negotiation from the sellers, but at the same time, we are also seeing multiple offer situations where you have to be very careful that you don't lose it because of playing too much of a hardball game with them. So negotiations are critical. Having an agent to speak with the seller's agent is critical. Establishing that relationship so that you know exactly what you want to offer in terms of guiding your buyers towards a successful offer. So strategy and negotiation is critical right now, for sure.
Yeah, there's times where you want to show your hand, the full hand, and there's other times that you want to hold back a little bit. And it incorporates a lot of the experience that we've had with the situation that's at hand when you're preparing for that offer, as you're making that offer. Do I go in with everything right now, or do I hold back a little bit? Typically, our strategy is to hold back a little bit. But if you are in that multiple offer scenario, it may be best to just go full bore in with everything that you've got, with all the resources, the lender letters, with perhaps the love letters that they
We've
call
heard
them.
of those, yes.
Go in full bore. But again, rely on your professional to kind of give you some leadership and direction on that too.
For sure. So we hope you found this useful. We're going to ask you a favor. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and the fall market is continuing to be very busy. And so look for our open houses, look for the opportunities to come out and visit with us, and continue to send those questions in, because this is kind of a time where we love to see, as the market does a little bit of a change here just as we've gone into the fall, we're looking for your thoughts and your questions. So until next week, we'll look forward to seeing you real soon.
Yes, enjoy the fall.
Bye.
Bye.